G'day, my name's Gordon Dedman and welcome to another episode of Bushcraft Survival. In today's episode we're going to be having a look at a few techniques to help you find direction if you're lost in the bush. One of the simplest methods of finding direction in the bush is to find a flat piece of ground, get a stick about 1 metre long as straight as possible, stick it in the ground, and that will cast a shadow. And what we're going to do, I've got another stick, and where that shadow tip finishes, I'm going to mark that shadow with this other stick. All I need to do now is wait a minimum of 20 minutes and that shadow is going to move, and that's going to give me an east-west line, and from that we can work out our other cardinal points. Okay, so we've waited 20-25 minutes, and in that time I've been marking the shadow, where the shadow's moved, roughly every 5 minutes. Now, for the short shadow stick method, which is what this is, you don't have to do that. You just mark your first stick and your last stick. But I've just marked these other ones in between just to give you an idea of how the shadow has moved. Now, this was our first stick. The first stick is always your westerly marker, and that's applicable no matter where you are on the planet. So I'm just going to remove these two, or these three in between, because I actually don't need those. And so there's my first one, which is our westerly marker, and now we have an easterly marker. So all I need to do is put a stick, join those two together, put it there, got these little blades of grass in the road. Have to move that. So there's our east-west line. So that was our west, that was our east, so you're at north. And we can check that by putting our compass down. Put that down there. And that is quite accurate. Now there is a slight discrepancy between a compass, because it's magnetic, and natural north, and that's what we're checking. And it's rough, it can be up to 20 degrees depending on where you are between. So you always find that in the southern hemisphere, in the east coast of Australia, that difference can be, it's to the east of north about 20 degrees. And that's because one's magnetic and one's using natural north. But very, very effective way of finding north. The longer you wait, the more accurate this is. And if you were to do this from 6 AM to 6 PM, you'd find that depending on the time of year and where you are, you're either going to get a straight line or a slightly curved line. And the more curved lines are going to occur around the solstice, the 21st of December and the 21st of June, and around the times of the equinox, 21st of March and 21st of September, you're going to get a very, very straight line. At the moment, it's just past September, so we've had a very, very straight line. So this is a great way of getting a good direction of how to find north and your cardinal points using a shadow stick. Right, we've now established our direction by using the short shadow stick method. We've got our east-west line, and from that we've been able to find north. Now let's say, for argument's sake, we need to walk north. It could be any direction, but let's say for argument's sake we need to walk north. All we need to do, there could be someone we need to meet, or we're lost, or we need to get back where we came from, for whatever the reason. In order to walk on that direction without a compass, what we can do is get yourselves a nice straight stick. Now, we call it a nav stick, but it's great for a number of other reasons. We can use this to get rid of brush when we're walking through the brush. It's great for, to ward off snakes if you weren't noisy enough to scare them off in the first place. It's actually a really good tool for walking through the bush. So find the straightest stick you can, and sometimes in Australia that can be pretty difficult. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this stick down in line with my north line on my little mini compass here. And I'm going to place that down like that. Now I could be walking in any direction here. It could be west, could be east, could be northwest, northeast. I would just simply do exactly the same thing. But for argument's sake, we're going to walk north. So I've placed my stick down. All I need to do is look along it and then find something in the distance as far as I can see that is in line with my stick. And all I need to do, as long as I keep that in line and walk to it, I should be okay. We do exactly the same with a normal compass when you're using a compass. Once you've got your bearing, you locate something on that bearing and you walk towards it. And that's all I'm going to do. So I've got my tree I'm going to walk for, and I'm going to walk to that tree, and just before I get to that tree, I'm going to place my stick down again. Very, very important to place my nav stick down before I get to my target. That way, if I need to walk further, I can then line something else up with the tree I was walking to and another target beyond that. Okay, my target's just about 15 metres in front of me. So before I get to my target, what I need to do is, and before I move offline, I'm going to get my nav stick and I'm going to place it down, pointing it directly at my target, because I don't want that line to change. Now, if I need to have a rest, I can now have a drink, I can go and do something else, and that's my waypoint. I can go and sit over here in the shade because it is a hot day, have a rest and take a load off, and I've still got my direction of travel. That's really important. You need to rest regularly. When I'm ready to go again, because I put this down before I've reached my target, I then line something up beyond the tree I was walking. Now I can see a little bit further, and I can see another tree beyond this tree. So I'm now going to line my stick up, or basically I'm going to get that further tree, and now I'm going to walk to that. And I'm going to repeat that process over and over again, making sure that you put your nav stick down before you get to your target. Because if you put your nav stick down, once you get to your target, you then have nothing to line your stick up with. So it's very, very important to put that stick down, and particularly at night. This works really well when using stars at night. It actually works very, very well, and you use it with the celestial navigation in exactly the same way. Okay, it's time for a break. It's pretty hot and I need to get some shade and take a load off, and that's very, very important to rest regularly. So I've found a good bit of shade, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes, very, very important. So first things first, I'm going to take my pack off. I want to take my hat off, particularly once I'm with in the shade. Very important to take our hat off, because even though it's protecting me from the sun, once I'm in the shade, that's actually, I want to get that hat off so that I get this convective cooling. Immediately I feel a lot cooler. I wait till I'm in the shade before I do that. Just going to hang that up there. And immediately I feel a little bit cooler. Oh, that tastes really good. Now, when you're drinking water, it's very important to make sure you're drinking 200 mils at a time. The old survival books used to say only, sip your water. But it's more important to conserve your sweat, not your water. Because if you only sip your water, your vital organs don't get the water. It's very important to make sure you consume it in 200 ml lots. Therefore, your body and your vital organs get that water. If this was the only water I had, I'm not going to tip it over my head and waste it. But if I could spare just a little bit of water, how we can further cool ourselves down with wasting minimal water is I take a very small mouthful of water, just a half mouthful, and I put it into my hands and I put it back on my head. And I don't waste anything, being sure to let it drip down my body. And immediately I get that evaporative cooling effect. So Oh, that really feels good. That was half a mouthful of water, and I've done the job of cooling myself down. When you tip water over your head, you waste a lot of water, and when you don't have a lot of water, you don't want to do that at all. So this is a quick tip for staying hydrated and cooling yourself down using minimal water. Here's a good trick for finding direction with an analogue watch. So what you do is you point the 12 at the sun, and the midpoint between the hour hand and the 12 is north, in the southern hemisphere. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode on a few simple ways of navigating and finding direction without a compass. If you like these videos, please like, share and tell others about them. That way we can help rekindle bushcraft in Australia. If you'd like to do one of our Bushcraft Survival Australia courses, you can go to our website and see all the different courses that we offer. My name's Gordon Dedman. I hope you enjoy the channel.